and then I'll talk about
and your blood
Legacies of Kane.
just gonna go. What?
Oh, it's Legacies. It's not better not be Legacies of Kane.
Did it get updated? It didn't get updated properly.
This is definitely not Vampire the Masquerade.
All right.
I don't know how to play that system.
I will fix it quickly. Let me see here.
Oh god, I gotta turn the volume. We are officially live.
Oops. That is misspelling horribly. But now I'm gonna have to correct this in the actual stuff, which is fine.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. There we go. Now it's corrected. Hi everybody. I'm correcting stuff on the fly.
Live editing.
Live editing. Welcome to Discussing Tabletop.
It is not Vampire the Masquerade.
It's not Vampire the Masquerade, though apparently was saying that for a second there. An interesting docket of topics to talk about today, and an interesting, deeper discussion topic. The usual. Hi, Alyssa. Welcome everybody in chat. Shall we just get started with the basics, as, the three of us are here once again? Let's talk Pazio. I'm going to throw some links in the chat. It's like, we're starting a little late, so I don't want to, necessarily,
What sins has Pazio committed?
Actually, technically, I would give them two non-sins. First off, they have an app which apparently works with Pathfinder. It looks like it works with Pathfinder, Starfinder, and maybe... I'm not sure what version of Pathfinder Adventures.
That's a awesome work. I'm already proving that.
Hell yeah! There's also like a tiny little serpent dragon.
Yeah,
It's technically
little dragon.
They had unveiled the Pathfinder 2nd Edition combat track app, apparently. So this is something that, I'm going to be honest, for those of us that play on Roll20, not helpful.
No, it's not really a thing for us.
This is for the people that play live with your phone. It's one person can do it, and other people can join via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and kind of connect together, so that everybody is. Their audio is super low. Why? That shouldn't be the case. I'll turn you guys up a little bit. Maybe that'll work.
Mine was just super loud compared to everybody else.
Yeah, it's the opposite of when he's playing in a D&D.
I think it's got to have something to do with the fact that I was off my headphones for a little bit when I wasn't feeling as great. Maybe switching between them has kind of fricked up my audio balance a little bit than it was. I blame that. Hopefully that's a little better. But I guess a GM can you've got a thing to put things together outside of games. So you're not writing on a piece of paper, all the initiatives. Roll20 has an initiative tracker. Great. This is basically the Roll20 tracker or something like that.
Yeah, it's a good thing. The more things help the players do.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they've got that out. It works apparently for Starfinder, 2nd Edition Pathfinder. I don't know if I can't tell if it would work for normal Pathfinder. It doesn't really say for sure.
I would assume it'd be Starfinder in 2nd Edition.
Yeah. I don't think that it would work for 1st Edition. Which is unfortunate, but, that's fine.
They're moving on. They're supporting their new version.
Which is great.
Pathfinder 2nd Edition, we should be supported, and should constantly be getting better.
True. As I said, I really like it for a lot of reasons. I've had a couple of complaints, but they are not big comparison to the entire experience.
Oh yeah, no, my complaints of Pathfinder 2 from what I played, they're not that bad.
Yeah,
in the grand scheme.
if you can start to understand how they build things, and especially how they build their rules, because the rules book, it's layered, and that's the problem, because it's hard to organize a layered rule system.
Yeah.
And that can be confusing at times, but it's understandable when you get the basic of it. But they also...
It's a little confusing when you're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah,
Read the margin. Like, why am I reading the margin here?
Or like...
I'm trying to make something really weird. Sometimes it's hard.
It's like,
I end up having to make something not weird.
yeah, it's like, this is a basic attack, okay? What's the rules for basic attack? I gotta go back to those.
There's somewhere else.
Okay.
They don't even give you a page number.
Yeah, that's bad. They don't give you page numbers for references. That I will do. But Secrets of Magic is when their new book's coming out, and they've been doing some like live streams and live plays of testing stuff on it. And they've been showing off some stuff, and I really wasn't going to talk about it until I saw these cantrips.
I love Bullhorn, just the name.
Magnify your voice to be heard at a distance.
Like thaumaturgy, but not.
Yeah, or approximate.
It's like half of thaumaturgy.
Magically estimate the number of nearby objects. It's just like, okay.
These are fun.
Like, healing plaster. Oh yeah. Just turn mud into a heal kit, I guess.
Mud into a bandage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, just slap some dirt. Rub some dirt into it.
Yeah.
It really is. Rub some dirt to your wounds.
It is. Rub some dirt in the spell. That makes it so much better.
And of course, tame, domesticate, or make a domesticated animal friendlier to you.
So it's like Friends, but for animals.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast it on Ling and Ling Reapers.
Ling bites you. It's
Ling
a friendly bite.
slowly consumes you.
Yeah, Ling has become Omnicron.
Ling wasn't domesticated. You kidding me?
Yeah, Ling was feral.
That is accurate.
I mean, I think it's like spells like this that make me enjoy Pathfinder a lot sometimes.
Like, this is my opinion on spells and on magical worlds in general. There should be stupid spells like this. Like a stupid spell like Bullhorn would exist in a magical world because there is someone who needs it.
Someone learned it and made it.
Yeah. Magic, like, sure, spells can be, they can do all these cool things like putting people to sleep, throwing a ball of fire at someone. But there's going to be a lot of really stupid spells that are pointless and very specific.
I want microwave the spell. It only works on food.
That would exist though. A spell to cook food.
Yeah, it's probably like a level 1, maybe level 2 spell, or you upcast it and it cooks more food at once. Like adding more time to your microwave.
Yeah. You need to cast it at 7th level to cook your 7 minutes.
Oh no, God!
So you can cook your frozen dinner.
That 7th level would be like cooking a turkey in a minute or something.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Thanksgiving dinner.
Like,
Somebody just cast 7th level microwave.
That's
this 20-pound turkey.
That's the thing with like mages though, is they make spells because mages are lazy as fuck.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah. Oh man. No, I think this is something that I feel like maybe 1st edition Pathfinder and 5th edition don't do as well. Silly spells that do that can be practical still, but they're just
they exist because someone was like lazy and they needed to do something.
Like, certainly Bullhorn probably useful. I could probably find plenty of useful places.
Approximate. Some guy just didn't want to count shit. And he's lazy.
Pathfinder has the ghost sounds spell or whatever, and as you level up, it tells you in human voices how loud it is. So it's kind of like, why would this one exist? You have, I guess because it's amplifying your voice, not just making spooky sounds.
Yeah, I mean, the downside of Bullhorn is you can't cast it next to someone's ear and make it sound like the screaming voice of 100 humans.
Yeah, that's true, unfortunately.
100 dying humans. Thank you very much.
Oh, sure, why not? They keep dying.
Man, I'm just so happy about that stuff there. It made me happy to see those. And the app's cool too. So Pazio, doing some great stuff there.
App does look pretty cool.
Let's talk about another RPG company that also does some other stuff.
Is it
Modiphius.
USAopoly?
No,
not
no.
again.
They'll be showing up at the end.
Of course,
Oh no!
I miss Warhammer and I have to talk about USAopoly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We're trying to talk about Dune,
I want to play
and
this.
of course, Viking Death Squad, the heavy
Also,
metal tabletop RPG.
You know, this is the first time I've heard of that. I'm already sold on it.
I think Runehammer, the original, one of these samples was out probably in PDF, and Modiphius now made a deal with the people that did those to put it out. And apparently the Viking Death Squad is the new book by them that's also getting a debut.
Look at that freaking art. It just says Viking Death Squad on the front of a skull. With
Yeah,
the
I mean,
beard
it's great.
and horns.
Mm-hmm.
I see no issues with it.
Which horns have been canonically proven to not be a standard thing.
It's not a Viking thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they still continue to do it after
Actually,
everyone in the world is like, that's not a thing.
It's actually perhaps a very, very stupid way to make a helmet. Put something your enemy can grab.
Let me describe this. It's inspired by the heavy metal classic War Pigs by Black Sabbath. It's a tabletop RPG that's an explosive game of immortal Vikings, cybernetic horrors, and demonic legions. Yes.
Okay.
So it is Doom, but you're a Viking.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
I'm into it.
Mm-hmm.
And Dune game.
A D6 dice pile system, no hit points, initiative is armor, hard and fast innovations, a unique world of Earth in the 100th century, with radioactive monstrosities, armies of cyborgs, insect tribes, and Vikings from space. I mean, come on.
What?
Oh, that's great. I love that. That's so silly.
Play as a Viking immortal or resourceful human survivor, explore the warlands, low orbit, poison forest, or hell itself.
I like that.
I
We're
mean,
talking about Dune for a second. I think we're still on the Vikings.
Yeah, we're still on the
oh yeah,
Viking
Dune. We should talk about Dune.
We got the Dune. I'm a huge Dune nerd.
See, I'm not
I
as
love
much
Dune.
on. I don't know as much about Dune. I know some basics.
I saw
If
the
you read-
classic movie.
If you
That's
read
it.
the books, only read the first 3 because they're real bad after that. But
Can I get them on tape? Just you know, how about
You
Momo,
probably could.
Why don't you just read them to me?
Oh god,
Look.
the first book is so long
Oh,
and so dry.
oh, that's bad.
Well, it's sort of like
a book.
it's just like recently I heard someone talking about like the Lion Witch and World Grove series, where they're like, yeah, the first one, that's the good one. After
That's the
that,
good
it
one.
just goes downhill, and it becomes more insane. You know, Jesus Lion.
Like, the first Dune I would consider, in terms of political sci-fi, a masterpiece. After that, it steadily gets worse and worse, and then the author's son takes over, and it's the worst thing I've ever read.
Does he jump a shark?
A
Sand shark?
he jumps the sandworm.
Oh,
Because,
it's
I
like
mean-
Beetlejuice.
See, like this book is specifically supposed to be about the planet from the stuff, Arrakis.
Arrakis.
I keep saying
I'm
it wrong.
assuming it's based on the new movie.
There's
I
a
don't-
new movie?
There is a new movie that they are
It
doing.
does look pretty good, in my opinion. It's by the person who made the newest Blade Runner movie. It's
Oh, I
pretty
hear that's
enjoyable.
actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good movie, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm assuming that it's more based on that, but then the book, because the book again is like political read, basically.
Yeah.
It's a very dry book, but one of my favorites. I would love to play in it. I don't know if I could run it because I'm real bad at running political games.
Oh, me too.
I'm okay at political games, but not great. Because if you notice my vampire game, which is got politics in it, I play a lot fast and loose with the politics, honestly.
I mean, there's vampires, so, you know.
You know, they have simple politics at least. Like, there's probably nuance that I'm sure that people can do with Vampire the Masquerade that I'm not great at that nuance. But
yeah,
Nope.
$42 for the Dune book.
mm-hmm.
Very beautiful cover too.
And I don't know if we know how much the Viking Death Squad or
I don't think Viking Death Squad had a price.
no. Or the Index Card RPG, they call it, which is one of their other books.
Yeah, I don't see a price listed for those.
Because that's the Master Edition. So I'm assuming, again, that's the new hardcover stuff for that one.
Source books need to stop coming out because I don't have enough money. Books that I want, right? Need to stop coming out.
They always come out. I go back and discussing tabletop for the past, for getting towards 5 years now that I've done this show. The list of RPGs that I would have loved to either have played in or, at least being a player in or something, so long. And I can remember a few of them here and there, but there's other ones that I know, I saw it was cool. Never got to it.
Yeah, fucking Dune book is $42. The Avatar book's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have money for this.
I think I'd pick Avatar over Dune.
Yeah, I would probably, be able to run an Avatar The Last Airbender game compared to a Dune game.
A little less high
And
or
also,
something.
Dune is, you're gonna be hard pressed finding Dune nerds who
That's
are into
true.
this stuff compared to Avatar nerds.
It's very old compared to Avatar.
Dune is a very old book, and most people have only seen the old movie, which, well, I enjoy, is a terrible movie.
I've never seen it and not really getting it. Just kind of alright, that's the movie.
I like it, but it's bad.
Yeah, no, I agree. The thing is, it went off in its own direction a lot of ways, and some things it did right, and some things it did wrong. But
it did have a very accurate representation of how the shield technology looks in Dune.
Boxes.
Yeah. Which will look better in the new movie, I presume, which will make me sad.
They'll freaking sci-fi it, and it'll be.
I mean, it does look very modern sci-fi. The new one, where everything is kind of gray and official-looking stuff, whereas the original Dune movie was very colorful.
it was very 60s, 70s.
Yes, it was a very colorful movie with good costume design.
I mean, I can understand being a little bit more dark and gritty because of the planet it's on. It's a desert world. But
And it's got giant worms and spice and things like that.
Spice must flow.
Spice must flow.
you can keep feeding those giant worms.
Yeah.
Just keep
Or
they
weird
just keep
people that travel through space and time or whatever.
We get really high and then they can travel through space.
That's like
That's
the
actually
right
what they do.
The freaking roaches.
It's the roaches. Yeah.
The navigators just get really high and they can travel through space.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Modiphius, you're bringing us such wonderful things. But we can move on to the next topic, which is basically it's basically like someone had at one point done a rip-off of Jurassic Park, and now it is a rip-off of Jurassic World by Pandasaur's games of their tabletop of Build a Dinosaur Amusement Park. Well, they had a Dinosaur Island previously, and I'm like, yeah, we had Dinosaur Island, and after we've done that, we were like, we want to upgrade things and make it better, and it's a sequel to that, and I'm like,
That didn't take me to.
It took to it's the second one.
It's the second one.
Oh, okay.
Because they also have links to Dinosaur Island in there in that group.
Dinosaur World.
Yeah, it's their Dinoverse.
Little,
They call it their Dinoverse.
Of course they do.
Okay.
Yeah, no, of course they do. I mean, I like dinosaurs. They're cool.
I was a very big dinosaur nerd when I was young.
Yeah, I love. I mean, I still love that.
Yeah, so Dinosaur Island is a worker placement game, while I think Dinosaur World is a little different because it's it's supposed to be the sequel, so dinosaur cloning is public knowledge, and like, you know, it's a hot competition between parks, so everybody's trying to make their own.
Pokemon?
It's Jurassic World.
Yeah, except I think all the players are trying to make their own dinosaur park, and it's the best dinosaur park of them all.
Oh, it's a dinosaur park off.
It is. It's Unfair, which was that amusement park game, except with, like, you know, cloning dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
Like, there's another game where you're, like, trying to build a fishing enterprise, and you gotta be, like, the most successful fisherman. I forget what that one's called. That also.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, dinosaurs look cool. Jurassic Park is cool.
Jurassic World is
Really?
okay.
Jurassic World is okay.
I mean, for like a summer like action-y movie.
It's a movie you can turn your brain off to.
Yeah, I don't mind them.
My brain is hard to turn off sometimes.
I will tell you, there are definitely movies you cannot turn your brain off to.
I mean, if it's just really stupid, I just can't help but get mad at them.
That was me when I watched Tomorrow War. I kept getting mad at it.
Was that with the friggin' Tom Cruise or whatever?
It's the really shitty Chris Pratt time travel alien invasion movie.
I don't think I've seen
on Amazon. It's terrible.
Well, I might be a harsher critic than you, so I think I would hate every second of it.
See, like, I'm a fan of, like, you know, a lot of, like, monster-y type movies. Like, one of my favorite movies still has to be the movie from the 1950s, Them. There's just something about those giant, like, ant puppets that they have just, like, getting people.
They're so derpy.
It's so derpy, but I love that movie.
I love monster movies because they often look dumb.
Yeah, it's like, they look so dumb, but you have to be like, they did such a good job back then doing this kind of shit that, like, you don't capture the same way with, like, weird CG shit nowadays, you know?
Yeah, like, I mean, I'll use modern Godzilla as an example. I still prefer the old Godzilla fights, and it was just dudes in suits beating each other up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rubber suit, man.
Yeah.
Professional wrestling.
Yeah. That's what replaced wrestling for me. I just started watching Godzilla movies.
Those Godzilla movies are good classics.
Oh, no, it's Godzilla!
So, like, I really do enjoy, like, the ones from, like, the 90s and stuff, because those took that, rubber suit to, like, I think their maximum, and added in, like, the special effects that they needed, while still having that, you know, it's a guy in a suit wrestling someone.
Like, there's plot to like, old Godzilla movies, but you're not there for that.
No.
No.
It's not good plot.
The only one with a good plot is, like, the first one.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's got, like, a meaningful message that
It has an important message, and then every movie after that is just monsters stopping each other.
Yeah. Let's talk about...
I want to run a game with giant monsters.
The players are just giant monsters.
No, the players have to fight giant monsters.
Oh, shit. Well,
Oh,
they said
man.
it in Oath, in modern day.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's Australia.
with like Ortolong sandworm.
Fantasy
Or sandworm
Australia,
Ortolong, or
let's go.
whatever the hell. It's like my terrible version of Crocodile Dundee that I put in there. But I did want to mention, I think, it's like, I thought we talked about this like months and months and months ago, or maybe even last year. And I'm like, it's finally out? It's the Alien RPG finally has their Colonial New book, which is...
This is one I wanted to play.
See, like, Alien RPG, okay. Like, I'm okay with the original Alien movie. I liked it, you know, it was good, but I'm really the big fan of Aliens, because that
I
kind
think everyone is, like, a bigger fan of Aliens than the original.
Yeah, the second one, I think, had more meaning, because it wasn't a horror movie.
Yeah,
The first one's a horror movie.
The first one's a horror movie, the second one's like an action thriller.
It's like, yeah, action thriller or action horror.
yeah, like an action horror. Like, there's still this, like...
We don't talk about the third one.
Yeah, well...
Well, I liked the third one, I'm sorry.
Third one has merits, and I think that's...
Wait, no. The fourth one's the one that...
Yeah, the fourth one's the best.
I actually like the fourth one, too.
The fourth one...
I know, weird.
See, like, no, I will argue that there are some good things in the fourth one, but I think the fourth one took a couple of concepts off the rails.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like...
Like, as a movie itself, that's like the concept behind Ripley and the cloning thing, I actually thought was
that's
kind
really
of
Oh,
cool.
that was my favorite part, and then like her finding out like the depth of what happened and her reaction to it is great.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie is kind of it's okay.
Yeah, I think that's where it goes.
Weird comedy didn't fly with me.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah,
It's a big book.
it's a big
I
book.
also-
252 pages.
352 pages. You know.
I do hate
How much is
the
this in America?
human alien hybrid thing in Force.
Yes.
That was awful. I hated
Yeah,
that.
that's a really.
See,
that,
that's-
really
That was the worst part,
If-
and I will not deny that.
It's 42.90. Actually, for a 352 page book, that's actually not a bad price.
Yeah, it's not
What
bad.
is KR?
That's the Korean or Swedish crown or whatever.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I think Free League is originally from
Yeah.
Sweden, so
I
they
think they're
give
a
like
Swedish company.
so they have pounds, I think euros and dollars
think,
there.
yeah.
Is that? I think the L is pounds.
Swedish krona is what.
Yeah.
I think is what it is.
Corona? 378 Coronas? That's an
Sweden-
expensive book.
Yeah, because Sweden doesn't use the euro.
I think there's a lot of people that don't use the euro now.
Well, most EU countries still use it.
So there a bunch of people dropped out of it.
Yeah.
Only England.
Well, England never used it.
Well, there was
Because
another
they just-
country
They
that
just refused to. It's like Norway, Sweden. Well, Norway's not part of the EU. I know Poland doesn't.
They use weird.
It's a weird.
Yeah,
thing.
that we're not talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
I was like,
Look, all I can know about the EU is back when I visited my sister, and it had been in France. We could travel to Germany, and we just we could cross the borders without trouble. We just drove across,
Pretty cool thing.
called it a day.
But this alien book looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, like when
I've
it
always
comes.
wanted to live out my fantasies of being horribly murdered by a horrible space monster.
Yeah,
I mean, you can do that in any
but now
game.
but now you can actually have a fighting chance against it.
Yeah, because I have a pulse rate.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would be interested to see more of it. Little preview things and talking about what's in there doesn't tell me.
It's got weapons, vehicles, the Frontier War, which is a thing that I don't know about. I don't think that's in any of the movies.
I think it's like books.
I think that's
comics.
a comic book.
Yeah, expanded
Oh,
material. Like,
I
great,
don't
like
know anything about expanded.
Marines to me are just the dudes who go on the planet and get scared and shoot things.
mm-hmm. I think there is like more to it, which is cool. They're expanding it.
I mean, yeah, if it's like if you're big fans of the Alien franchise and like books and expanded content stuff, and this ties in expanded content for a role-playing game, I think that's really great. I don't know about it though.
Yeah.
I'm just in the dark as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I like the movie. That's all I. But I would be interested in playing it.
Yeah. I'd have to look at the book to know like what if I could run it or something, but definitely like because I've only like glanced at the original Aliens book. I haven't dove into depth to it, but like this is what like kind of makes me like more interested in it than I was before. Because before, I mean, like, what are you playing? Like colonists trying to survive against a horrible
I think it
monstrosity?
was either colonists or space truckers.
Yeah.
Space Truckers. Oh,
'Cause
hell
that's
yeah.
what they were in the first movie. Were space
That's a
truckers.
great movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, I forgot about that movie.
Oh, yeah, it's such a good
Wasn't
movie.
that on HBO too? It wasn't even like a
Probably.
Sci-Fi Channel movie. It was just like
I don't remember.
I think it was.
I remember it being ridiculous, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm. It's a movie that like I'm like, why is this like not a sci-fi original movie? You know. But yeah, Aliens.
It's a good series for the most part.
With certain things that are not as good as others.
Yeah, and they just ignore the reboot stuff,
Oh, yeah.
like Prometheus and whatever the other one was called.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
Prometheus was like,
Prometheus
it's
was
okay.
like okay. The other one was just bad.
Alien Covenant. That's it.
Yeah, that one was real
Ooh.
bad.
Ooh, yeah.
I feel like Prometheus was a little too arty for what it wanted to do.
And also, like, I can separate Prometheus from the actual franchise. It's different enough.
Yeah. Well, Alien Covenant, they're like, it's totally aliens.
But it's also like not, because they're different aliens.
It's weird.
I think Prometheus had the potential to be good by explaining what, why, where, how, when, how, or whatever. But they like kind of did, and then they
went a little too artsy.
Well, they like tried to start explaining it, and then at the end, in the second half of the movie, they retcon like the originals or something.
Because it's like,
and it's like that's not okay.
Yeah, that's just Ridley Scott, though.
Yeah,
he does that a lot.
He's gotten crazier in his old age.
That's all big famous Hollywood directors.
Yeah,
that or when he was doing the original one, some people said no to him, just like we all know from the original Star Wars, people said no to George Lucas, and then the prequel trilogy.
And then we got the theater treatment with the prequels.
Where people were like, okay, George, that's a great idea. You can do no wrong.
Yeah, you're the best director ever. He's like, yes, I am. Jar Jar Binks. Not actually a Sith Lord.
Still think the sequels would have been better if Jar Jar was.
Oh my god, they would have been amazing if he was the Sith Lord.
He was the true evil the whole time.
And he was just putting on a stupid act the whole time.
It would have been so much better.
That would have been awesome.
Mm-hmm. He drops off the accent, speaks perfectly normally.
Yeah, he was, what was it, Darth Sidious or something?
Yeah,
he was Darth Sidious the whole time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would have been the best thing ever.
So much better.
Oh. Anyway, that's Star Wars.
We're going to talk about a number of Humble that's role-playing related. But also miniature related. Mutant Chronicles, the book bundle. I know very little about Mutant Chronicles.
I've heard of it. That's what I know.
I don't think I know anything about it.
I know it's part of the Savage Worlds series.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I think isn't there Mutant Year Zero?
Yes, there is Mutant Year Zero.
That's a game, but that's also an RPG series that it's based off of. That I think is like supposed to be the prequel to this kind of thing, like set way before it.
I'm very amused looking at the cover art because so much of this looks like 40K stuff. You can tell they were heavily inspired by that.
No, just look at, I'm scrolling down, the Mutant Chronicles White Star source book.
White Star source book. Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Space Marines to be like, it's Warhammer.
They are just like sisters of battle.
Mm-hmm.
Mildly. And this one guy up here on like the orbital source book just has like plastic Space Marine armor.
Yeah.
Just because it looks like something doesn't mean it's bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
it could be really awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
because Warhammer is bad.
That is probably unfortunately true in some cases.
Look, when you release a codex and they're like, hey, it's gonna have it's gonna have like every playable faction in it, and then like, actually it doesn't have these playable factions. They're in a different book that you have to buy.
That's not every faction then.
Oh, and then they get rid of the starter kits and start mashing the other units that don't work. Yeah.
For $18, you can get all the items.
It's pretty good.
I think some of them are actual physical items, like the miniatures that you'd have to probably pay shipping for, but still.
3D printed. So yeah,
Heroes
I
Collection.
assume these are. So some of these are just the files to 3D print.
That might be files to 3D print. I mean, you can go somewhere and get them printed, then I guess.
Oh yeah, you can just pay the stuff 3D printed. It's not that expensive anymore.
And it includes a 50% discount on the physical book if you wanted a 3rd edition core rule book. You probably have to send away for that. Quick start rules. Quick start rules, like there's a lot in here, but
there's
again,
a lot of books.
Yeah, it's what, 30 items
It's
total.
$400 worth of books.
Yeah,
That's a lot of books.
for $18.
There's like some of them that are reprints though, because I'm seeing the same cover a couple times, and one of them is like the 3rd edition version, and like scroll to the top, it's like the same book but different.
Well, it looks like they say the 3rd edition core at the top, and then they have the ambush, which is the locations deck, which has the same art on it. Then they have the art book, which has the same art on it. And
so maybe it's Mutant Chronicles is just using the same cover.
Yeah, Mutant Chronicles.
Yeah, maybe.
But then no, it's the same thing. Mutant Chronicles 3rd edition, and then it's core book Savage World editions. Oh, maybe that's the difference. That's
one of them's
the
Savage Worlds, one of them's not.
No,
The original. Because because I think when Modiphius does these, and I think when they took it over, they kind of tried to
maybe separate it from.
Yeah, because the Savage Worlds is its own system, but they have their 2D20 version of it from using their system.
But you're getting like different versions of it depending on like which like game system you want to play.
Yeah, so if you're more familiar with 2D20 systems, you could use the 2D20 version, or you could use the Savage World version, which is I only know a little bit about the Savage World system, other than it exists. You know?
I don't know much about Savage World.
Like a 2D20 system, I probably could pull off a lot easier because I've played in at least one of them with Star Trek, and read up on a couple other ones, and I'm like, that's how they work. Cool. They're pretty standard. So, it's neat. Good for them to have another cool Humble. Also,
Humble's been having a lot of good ones.
Yeah, also noting that they did extend the Starfinder one. I did notice that. So it's 5 more days, including about. So if you
So much good stuff in there.
It's a lot of good stuff.
So if you haven't gotten that one, and still interested in that one, you could.
Yep.
Good. All right, we have one more main topic today, and I'm just going to give it to you because thanks, USAopoly.
Oh no.
Cuphead the dice game.
I like Cuphead. However, I don't want to play a dice game of Cuphead. That seems weird.
It does seem very weird.
Also, it's 3-player or 4-player.
4-player.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 extra characters apparently.
One of them isn't like the grandpa teacup or a teapot that's just like, well, kids, what are you doing going out there and
One of them
betting your souls for money?
I think there was a DLC for Cuphead.
There could have been. The other character looks familiar.
I think she was that one was the DLC.
Yeah, Elder Kettle, Miss Chalice, Mugman, and Cuphead.
Oh.
Miss Chalice, I think, is a DLC character.
See, I don't know anything about that game besides it's
Yeah,
very hard.
she's from the DLC.
Well, I
Oh, it's not. It's a DLC that's not out yet.
yeah.
Oh.
I thought that came out already.
You buy it now from USAopoly to get this
Yeah.
DLC character before everybody else.
Yeah. But I like Cuphead. It is a difficult game, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd be curious how it works, but it's like to make it feel. A dice game just doesn't feel like you could. Well, again, I'm gonna say this.
I mean, there's Mr. King dice. So.
I don't feel like you could capture the feel of the game.
No, it's a bullet hell game.
Yeah. It is really a bullet hell game, and I don't think you can capture that in a dice game at all. You could probably capture a little bit of the feel of maybe like the world and having it. They're saying it's a fast-paced dice game, which maybe
It's a boss rush. One imposing boss after another as you move, parry, and shoot your way through this new cooperative dice game based on Studio MDHR's breakout run and gun video game.
yeah.
Also, there's also a Cuphead anime coming out.
I
for
remember
Netflix.
that existing, and it was like, that's a thing. What do you do?
I wouldn't describe Cuphead as a run and gun game.
Kind of, but if you twist the definition.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's a twisted definition.
To me, it's a bullet hell.
I think
Yeah.
it both is a bullet hell and a run and gun because it depends on what you're talking about. Like if you're talking
Like-
about the stages where you're
Yeah,
like
it's
going
almost
through,
like Contra
yeah,
in a way.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's
yeah.
run and gun.
Which, I don't know. Contra is pretty bullet hell at times.
It can
Contra
be.
is a game that makes me mad.
Contra, I think, is bullet hell when it hits the bosses, which is the exact same thing I think with Cuphead.
Yeah, because the stages aren't super bullet hell. The stages are more like you just avoid enemies.
Yeah, while probably constantly shooting, you know.
Yeah.
So run and gun. So I think it's the unfortunate thing that run and gun only describes half of it, just like bullet hell only describes half of it, and I think it's a Contra style game is probably a better way to describe it in that.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's got pretty cool art.
Yeah, they came up with a very interesting style.
Very 1930s cartoons.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I mean,
It could be fun, however, I don't know how you translate Cuphead to
it looks as though,
a
like,
tabletop game.
there's a boss deck for each of these 8 bosses kind of thing that you're going against.
Yeah.
And you have to defeat a boss to move on to the next one. I don't even know if it's, like, cooperative or against
I think
each other.
It
that
does say
cooperative?
cooperative. So I assume it's cooperative.
I mean, the main game isn't.
Yeah, the
competitive.
main game is cooperative. 2-player co-op game.
So,
Yeah.
cool.
You can have your friends suffer with you.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, of the weird shit USAopoly does, I'm like,
This is, like, fine.
it's fine.
If it was
Like,
Cuphead Monopoly,
that's why I didn't, like,
I would have...
see,
I would have words.
this is why I didn't bring up USAopoly right away with it, because I could see that this was fine, you know?
Dude, this is okay.
USAopoly does do that occasionally, does okay things, and then they, like, don't.
What about Cuphead Clue?
Cuphead Clue. Sounds like something USAopoly would do.
You know?
Who killed the devil?
It was Mugman!
No, not Mugman.
In the speakeasy!
Oh, it's-
So,
With the boomerang shot! There you go.
yeah,
I honestly can't remember any other powers from that game, because I only
don't
watched
know.
someone play.
It's been a long time since
I
Name
might...
more than I know.
I might own it because
I
they
played
might
when
have
it
come with a
came out.
bundle or something. I don't think I do. Let me check.
Yeah, I played it when it came out. That was a long time ago.
Indeed. Yeah.
I played it with one of my friends, and we both got real
Nope.
mad at it. But we finished it.
Don't own it. Now, granted, if someone would, if it would be part of like a bundle of, like a humble bundle or something, I probably would have it then. That's accounted for a lot of interesting games in my collection. Anyway,
Yeah.
so let's move on to our deeper discussion topic because we have a
no.
good one.
Discussions.
Loot, money, and rewards in your RPGs. This is one that's interesting because a player wants something for
Yeah.
being successful, you know, and yes, experience can sometimes be the reward, or, you know, story rewards can exist, but you're still, like, playing thin, and it's
The
Yeah.
real treasure was the friends you made along the way.
honestly, like, that could work depending on the situation you were in.
Yeah,
Like, if someone would tell me, like, in a RPG story, you know, after like an epic adventure, you know, you save the world, and maybe there isn't that reward at the end, but you reflect upon, because of character interactions, the friends you made that, like, made you strong enough to overcome this problem. That could be story-wise the friends you made along the way. I would
reward was
need
the
that
world
story
didn't
to
get
do that.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good reward.
Yeah, like, but I would need the story to do that for me.
Yeah.
If it, doesn't do it for me, then it's not a reward,
Yeah. Like, I'll be honest, like, half the time, I never know what to give to for doing shit.
It could be
So
hard.
like my go-to is like, oh, you did a dungeon. Here's some items and a pile of money.
I
Yep.
like giving money.
Money
is nice because it lets
yeah.
the players decide what they can get.
Because the thing is, like, money doesn't always work everywhere because it depends on, like, can they use that money for anything useful?
Yeah, that's why I combine it with being able to actually purchase magical items.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I mean, like, if you want like basic magical items or magical equivalent items, like a potion of healing is kind of expensive. It's 50 gold a piece in 5e. So if you give your players 100 gold reward each, I mean, like, that's a lot of money. They could buy a lot of mundane items, or they could buy 2 potions.
Yeah. 2
Whoopity-doo.
potions.
You know?
Oh, shit.
And higher level armor and stuff is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Breastplates 400 gold. Full plates 1500. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's not magical that has a lot of value.
I like giving my players rewards. As you can tell, because on Thursday, the party already has 2 basic magic items: staff of defense and a sword. Granted, the sword is only magical because it has a basic magical property, but it can glow.
Yeah, it can glow in the dark. Hell yeah.
Sweet!
And the staff of defense is like a fairly harmless item because all it is shield and melee.
It doesn't. It just saves spell slots.
Yeah, just saves spell slots. And it's a casting focus. And then I also like giving people loads of money.
Yeah, money works a lot. Like, finding, like, magic item or, like, item-based rewards can be hard.
One thing I do like doing is giving people magic items that are situational, like the tankard of the drunkard, which is you can just drink a shit ton of alcohol out of it, and then later on giving them the option to get that amulet that lets you heal from drinking alcohol.
That'd be interesting.
I forget I have that cup, so I can't get
you
drunk.
have that cup.
I do like what you would call story rewards too, and I think those aren't bad to do. I think it's just that, like, if you're going to do a story reward, you almost have to establish at the beginning of it. You know, it's sort of like, hey, if you do this, I will do this for you, or I will give you this, or something like that. That's maybe not as monetary or magic-y or something like that.
This is a reward that players often overlook, is if you do something for someone powerful, they could owe you a favor in the future. That's something players overlook a lot, the value of that.
Yeah.
It's like
Marty's bow.
Yeah, Marty's fucking bow.
Yeah.
Right?
That
It's
was
funny.
a loot drop that I added because I realized that Marty didn't have like anything real magical like the rest of the group.
I technically had a magic item.
You did, but
Technically.
the game kind of ended before it really
Yeah,
would have.
the game ended before it became magical.
Yeah. It had a bonus damage against undead.
It did.
And after you killed a certain undead, it would have been +1. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is.
+1 weapon is pretty big.
Yeah, because it cuts through pretty much almost every single creature's resistances.
Yeah, not every reward is going to be a magic item or a pile of gold.
Yep.
It
Sometimes
could also be like a building or something.
could be,
a house.
yeah, you could reward them with the privilege of owning property.
Or an airship. If you want to get all Final
an
Fantasy.
A boat,
You're just
noble.
saying that because you fuckers have an airship.
Like, you could reward them with, like, a noble rank, which doesn't sound like a lot, but, like, you'd be like, oh man, like, you know, I could, like, you know, be someone important, you know, like, you know, in this town, and, you know, maybe in that kingdom you need to have a noble title to own land or something like that, you know. That, like,
You've done something important enough. This is something the Dungeon Master's Guide actually says: blessings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another thing players overlook: blessings and boons.
Yeah.
Yep.
It certainly is a challenge to find that right balance between making the players feel like they've gotten a appropriate reward for their actions and not giving them too much.
Like, when you guys went and cleared out that bandit camp, you guys found a bunch of stuff there. You got like 1,000 gold, which is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
For your level. And then you went back to your employer and they gave you just 25 gold. Because your job was just to deliver a box.
Yeah.
And not raid a camp. I bought a wagon with some of my money.
I got drunk off of my money.
Good. You got drunk and you peer pressured someone into getting drunk.
Yes.
That's
Technically, me and a badger got drunk.
Yeah.
The badger got drunk too.
Yeah.
The badger share your gold?
Probably?
There's also quests.
Yes.
Like going after, maybe not necessarily a legendary item as far as the power sense, but legendary in the sense that it has meaning to the world and the characters within the world.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, hey, yeah, we know of this really awesome sword or whatever. That let's say it's a Dragon Slayer sword. Why not, right? We know of this ancient dragon slaying
I
sword.
don't know why one of those
It was lost in this one, dungeon or whatever. The hero who had it last went to this dungeon and never returned. It could be in there, or maybe you can find some information on where he went next if he didn't die here, and then you quest to do a dungeon, and then maybe it's there, maybe it's in another castle. That's kind of up to the DM at that point.
The Dragon Slayer sword is in another castle.
I wasn't going to say it.
Sorry, Mario. Your sword is in another castle.
Uh-huh.
Oh no! How can I slay a Bowser now? That the bitch.
But yeah, that's also another thing, is making it so you have to work for the reward. As opposed to just kind of like, alright, you did the mission, I rolled on this loot table, and the reward was a +1 sword, here you go.
It ended up being, I think a good example of, how it was hard to reward and there was a lot of weird rewards was something like Records of Evil. I mean, honestly, you're in a modern-day world. You can't,
Curse shit.
The bag of cursed shit. It wasn't...
And then the other bag of cursed shit.
Technically, the one wasn't cursed. It was just they were all horribly evil and maybe sentient.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Swords said nice things to me.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And then there was, the magic items that the cult was like, these are useful, but we probably shouldn't use these. We're just gonna put these in this, vault here. They're like, we're gonna take them all. And I'm like, great!
They're too evil for us, evil people.
Well, it was less that it was more they were unstable. One
safer on us.
well, one was
yeah.
you can summon Mephistopheles to help you out.
That's not. That is no downside.
That has no downsides to the deal he will probably broker with you,
Yeah,
abusively.
Fine.
Uh-huh.
Just summon him and don't make a deal. Just be like, hey, bro.
I just wanted to hang out. It's like, you
Because
dare
I-
summon
We're gonna
me.
get some pizza.
At his power level, he is 100% got a time limit of how long he can be in the moral realm.
Oh, yeah.
No way. So you don't make a deal. You just summon and be like, sup, bro? Oh, by the way, we're under attack by demons. And, hey, gotta go, sorry. Make yourself at home or whatever. Demons will attack him. He'll kill the demons because, he's not just gonna not kill them.
Yeah,
It's a win-win. You didn't make a deal.
Yeah, you just let him do his own thing,
Yeah. Maybe some humans got ill, or maybe they made them, but that's not your problem.
That's not my problem. It's the ocean's problem, obviously.
The ocean isn't here.
It's the ocean's problem now. Oh, God. Fuck that dwarf. It's the ocean's problem now. That's not where you throw your trash.
That dwarf is still alive somewhere.
That dwarf is
15 years
100%
later.
still alive.
God damn that bastard.
He probably has his own adventuring company now.
He's
Called
like
the Ocean Dwellers or something.
it's sea problems. They see problems, they take care of them.
Yeah, that's just because the aboleth or whatever.
He
That's his
wouldn't
new
kill the
adventuring party.
aboleth.
Yeah.
It's the ocean's problem now.
Canon now.
Oh, God.
The aboleth is dead. It was killed by the dwarf. He jumped down its throat and then like cut it to pieces from the inside out.
If he did that, I mean, I would just look at it and be like, really? You couldn't have done stuff like that earlier?
No.
I have. It's only plot relevant when I can show my true power.
Plot relevant? Shut your mouth, bitch!
It's written in the stone.
When you fight the boss versus when you have him in the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things is that, you have
a lot on your table.
It does.
Yeah, it depends on the table. Not only the table, the game. Table, game, the RPG you're playing, too. Like, honestly, something like Star Trek, the rewards are finding out the secret of the mystery or shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's...
The reward is information and saving people.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you did your job.
I mean, that's really what it is. Now to explore more of the deadly pits of space. Excellent.
Now we shall continue to do the same thing.
For 4 more seasons until they cancel us.
Oh, rip.
That is the Star Trek way.
Yeah.
It really is. There is no reward in Star Trek other than a job well done.
I know, but the thing is, if you know about Star Trek and you read about how it works, you expect that. You know, you should be going into the game being like, okay, yeah, you know, it's the reward for being successful is that, you know, we did our job, protected people, and we're good people, you know, or something like that. At the end of the day,
The best people.
yeah, the best.
Also, Fly is a level 3 spell.
I don't know.
That's a conversation from earlier.
Yes.
It is. Random callback.
Random callback.
We went live.
But yeah, rewards are hard, and also you should make sure the reward matches what people did.
Yeah.
Or what people want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like, you know, going to your game, Momo, the money from the bandits. That made sense. Like, hey, they're bandits.
Stealing shit from people.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, hey, loot. You know, that makes sense. They have this. While, like, you know, if it was the oh my god, the Neverwinter Nights, I open up this barrel and there's a +5 battle axe in here.
Oh, hell yeah. I loved random loot. I found some dragon scale armor in one game because they left like random loot tables on or something. And it was just in the random loot table, so I found a set of gold dragon full plate armor, +5 AC and like 20 fire resistance and like 60% weight reduction. So I'm like, hell yeah! Just gonna wear this gold dragon armor as a not evil character.
Totally.
I was so worried because it was a online hosted one, so there was actually like DMs and stuff that were events. I was worried one of the DMs was gonna look at my inventory and be like, they have gold dragon armor on now. I should do something about this. But no one ever did. Like the 6 months or whatever that I had that armor, no one ever noticed.
No.
I didn't even change the color. I just put like leather over it, like black leather. So I had this gold armor with black leather covering like almost all of it.
I admit, you know, played through the original Neverwinter Nights normally, but I also did like the uber, like, I cheat to level 20 kind of thing, where you like put yourself up to level 20. The loot tables match your level.
Oh,
so you're in the original area where you're like, this barrel in this worn-torn town where there's like all this horrible things. You're like, 5,000 gold pieces, great. No one will forget about this. Yeah.
I've actually never played that like that.
Yeah, you can
you
can cheat your way up to level 20, or if you have Hordes of the Underdark up to like level 30 or 40 or something.
I think so.
It's like 30 something.
Yeah. So you like cheat yourself up to that. You're like, you're epic, and you're like, yes, the +5 Godslayer battle axe that's in this random like pile of trash that someone forgot.
In this barrel at this adventuring college.
Yeah, totally. They weren't expecting this. Of course.
Why would someone throw this garbage away? I guess I'll take it. This trash item here.
Yeah, I'll have to look after this for them. Yeah, it's just.
I'll probably sell it later for a poorly paltry sum of 10 million gold.
It was just
Such a
that.
drop in the bucket.
It was just that bad, and it's so ridiculous, and that's just like
So good.
this doesn't match how these things should be. You're like on this adventure where you're like, I'm gonna trounce this, and you don't want the rewards like that, but you find them, and you're like,
Oh, I bet you the quests the NPCs give you are standard. So like, here's your 100 gold reward. And you're like, thanks, I guess.
you're like,
you're decked out in like +4 and 5 armor, gear, weapons.
Disgusting.
and you're playing like a high level like ranger druid with 2 murder panthers that just like go out and kill everything for you. So you're just like, by the, oh, yep, you're dead. Or you're like, I could totally talk to that villain. Behold, villain, I will up. My panthers killed you.
Panthers get sneak attacks too. So,
Yeah, they do. So it's like just like rare.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Also,
anyway,
hey,
so-
if you're gonna, have your players, go into a rich guy's manor, maybe don't make one of the rewards a trapdoor. Just saying.
I forgot all about that until we got to that point in time, and I'm like,
Just don't make one of the rewards an adamant trapdoor. How are they getting that out of there?
I mean, like,
I don't know.
honestly, logically, why it was there made sense. It was to keep a horrible golem from getting out. But
Well, sure,
they gave the price for it in the book, so you could steal it.
Why would you give a prize? It's like, how
Well,
you gonna steal
let me just carry this big
This
trapdoor
four-
across this wooden bridge.
400-pound door or more? Jeez,
Oh,
too much.
Well, now you're gonna find one of those on Thursday.
we're just
Well-
gonna ignore it.
I might take it.
Just like dragging something, you're like, what do you have
I'm gonna
there?
go put this in the wagon. I'll come back.
This will take a little. It's got like that scraping noise against the ground.
I'll do it. I'll take it. Once you make it like actually impossible to move, I will take it.
It'll just be in a corner somewhere.
I mean, I am a freaking rogue paladin. I steal everything apparently.
Well, yeah, you've made me roll so many like 2d6 to see how much money you find on a corpse.
Excellent. More money for me. I need it. I need a fancy sword and armor.
They're expensive.
They are very expensive. Just getting basic breastplate is 400, but I need it to be mithril, which makes it like 1,500.
Yeah.
The same price as freaking full plate armor.
Yeah.
Which is less protection. But I just can't technically wear full plate because I'm not strong.
Yeah, you don't have enough strength.
I think if it was mithril, I could wear it. It's just lower.
Yes, but that's a lot of money.
It's even more money. Instead of having a 1,500 item, it's like a 2,500 item. Like, no, it's just too much.
It's too much.
Yeah, but that's why I'm okay with having gold as a reward.
Yeah.
Is because I often have mundane items or items that are kind of magical. Players can find.
Yeah.
I have a whole like document on magical prices.
Yeah, I probably have the same one.
Yeah, I think this one. Although this one doesn't include dinosaurs, it's a little annoying.
That's sad. But you can kind of extrapolate.
Yeah, you can get a feeling.
Like for me, like I haven't done enough in 5th edition where like rewards are necessary, kind of in a way. Where like I think like something like records, a lot of times the reward was progress on your path of your mission.
Yeah.
You know.
I will also say, modules tend to give you too many good rewards too early for 5e, I found. Like Lost Mines, which is a 1 to 5 adventure. It's the basic side questy adventure. It's your basic D&D game. They give you a +1 sword at level 2.
Jeez. In what is it, Storm's King Thunder, not only does it give me, which is fine, a bunch of information about the room, which is fine for me to know, but why should I know? Because the players won't ever know unless they do certain things, and then hours and hours and hours later, after they've searched this town, will that even come up if they bother to ask about it? It's like, that's world building for me, but it's a little unnecessary. And it also gives, like, things that the players would probably not take gold value.
Yeah,
like, there's a dead
door.
body. Like, no. Here's a dead body. There's a bunch of guards around it. She has a ring on it you can steal that's worth 250 gold. Are the players gonna murder the guards and then steal the ring off the dead body?
Sneak 100, take the ring.
I mean,
I think that's with all modules, because, like, I have to say Pathfinder Adventure Paths, they're bad like that. They can be too. They can list things like the adamantine door, or like Stalking Slosh Karamak, a collection of taxidermied animals that you could sell for 1,000
gold.
gold.
We were supposed to carry those out of there.
we have a cart maybe at that point?
I don't know.
I think that's too. We have to make multiple trips.
Granted, it was a small room that was filled with them, but still, it's sort of like,
that's a lot.
Just for that one room would probably have been one cart full, you know? Yeah. And, like, they also do a lot of that same thing where they do the world building where you're like, how much are the players actually going to find out about this? Honestly.
Also, I just want to say, for Slosh Kermack, that guy's still alive. So you just be stealing his shit.
Yeah.
You'd be robbing from the
You just be stealing from him.
Yeah.
So you have to kill him in the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's made for you to be evil. Like, you want to loot this entire house, this is what it's worth. If you want to put in the effort.
We did steal his
like,
ivory ghost.
you did. I did borrow his sword, or halberd, or whatever it was, but I think I offered to give it back, and he's like, oh, it's fine, you can keep it, you saved me, or whatever.
And he gave us hush money.
Yeah, they gave you hush money. He's just like, Ed, like, let's not talk
Don't-
about this ever again.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anybody that I've been making lots of horrible abominations in my castle since they dethroned me.
back there to Robin Blind
Ling Ethan.
as a tiny body. No evidence.
No evidence.
They took her a long time to eat a whole human body, but the bones just got thrown into the freaking waterfall of Dune.
Yeah, it's the waterfall's problem.
It's the waterfall's problem.
Yeah.
It was, oh god. Yeah, that's an example of, like, loot gone weird.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, sometimes, you know, a suit of armor is a good enough reward.
Yeah, I would.
Or like,
happily
or something I'm also fond of giving. If you help a blacksmith out with things, he could just make something for you.
I might have a
as
list.
long as it's not over a gold cost.
Yeah, I might have a list of things a blacksmith might need, so that I can hopefully get a sword and/or armor made from him, because he's like a master blacksmith.
Yeah.
Yep. So, again, I think, especially, since we've already talked about it definitely on your own games and your own tables, for pre-made stuff, read ahead, figure out what the hell they're giving you, and...
When I ran Lost Mines, I changed so much of the rewards because it was a bunch of shit players that level really shouldn't have. Like a +1 sword.
What?
It's super low level.
What level did you guys get up to? Like 6?
We got to
7?
6.
I don't think any of you had a +1 item. You
No.
had magical items, but none of them were
I
+1
think
items.
I had
Level
something that was
6 is-
close to it.
I think between like level 6 and 10 is when you're supposed to get a +1 at some point.
Yeah. Like, if you had played for longer, you would have started getting +1.
I think, technically speaking, the earliest point in time, according to how the the treasure charts look like, I think, in the DMG, around 4th level is when maybe one of your team could get a +1 item.
Yeah.
Only one of them.
Yeah.
And then, like, by, like, 6th, 7th level, your entire team kind of has reached that area where if they use physical weapons, they should be able to access them kind of at that point.
The last thing I will say about loot is you can also give a reward early that becomes a greater reward later. Say a sleeping, like, dormant sword that later on, as you do things with it, it starts to wake up and it does more things.
Yeah. I like those items.
Indeed. So there's a lot of interesting options that can be done. Let's see here. I was going to talk about a Kickstarter, but I don't feel like it now. It wasn't that important.
I don't know. I don't have a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Kickstart me.
Our Week in
I'll make something, I guess.
Tabletop? Sure. Our Week in Tabletop.
What day you want to start at? Because we didn't have.
Technically, that
Wait.
game was.
We did have that game.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Well,
we had
no,
one last week, and then we had
it. Yeah.
yesterday.
It's a double dose for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we didn't talk about the end of the game, did we?
No, you didn't. I don't know.
We had on Saturday, the game that I was running. We had an epic, mega long, like 5 or 6 hour game. Partly because people didn't tell me to stop, so we just kept going, and I kind of felt bad at the end, so we were rushing a little bit. But we finished up my game. You guys decided to, well, you fought a bunch of dudes. You fought the fishman around 2. You also fought a chul and a priest fishman.
Yeah.
Who kind of was hurting his own people a little bit by smashing a giant wave.
Suckers couldn't get on the ship.
Yeah, he summoned up. It was like control water. That like is a 6th level spell or something.
Did you say control otter?
Yeah, control
No,
otter.
He didn't
my
control a
my
giant
favorite
otter.
spell, control otter.
No, he had like some high level control water spell, and one of the things was like you can like do all these water things, like a whirlpool or like a wave or something, and it gives you all these rules of what happens if it hits a large object. You guys are in an object larger than that, so it doesn't do any of those things. So it's like, what would it do? It's like, I don't know. I guess they'll make you have like dex checks or something as the whole boat is getting rocked. And then it was someone, I don't know if it was Plex or not, I was like, the fishermen get a save? I'm like, you're right, they probably do have to make a save. So a lot of his own people, he was making fall over and then go like 10 feet away, which was hilarious.
Some got thrown off the boat.
Eventually one got yeeted off the boat, but that was due to player actions, not the water. Because the dude was like, oh, you idiots, stop falling over. I guess I'll have to do something else.
Stop dying, you cowards.
Actually, I don't think any of them died until
I think
after
one, I think after something like one died. We killed like 2 of them, that was it. And the rest ran away.
Most of them ran away because, they have intelligence. You killed the chul, which I thought was going to get away, but then it was like, nah, he's running away, let's freaking fuck this dude up. So he died. And then you took his tentacles out.
Harvested his tentacles.
For a poison, because he has a paralyzed poison, which
we didn't use.
No, you didn't use. But you didn't have any more combat after that.
No one still has it.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is not viable
No.
because that's how poison works.
No.
But yeah, you beat up those guys. The fish guy was going to escape, and then a whole person got cast on him. And I double checked, and he's a humanoid creature, so it worked. He failed the save, he got held. And then he kept failing the save whenever his turn came back up. So he got dragged back onto the boat, and then Cursed Skull of Doom mind probed him deeply. And you guys learned about an evil dragon that's gonna like destroy the world. And
Yeah,
they might be his minions. And you also learned that the cultists were trying to work with them in some way, but they didn't. And then you're like, hey, let's just talk to these cult people. Because they did seem to want to try and talk to us last time, and then we did something aggressive, and they attacked us after, doing stuff.
I don't remember being aggressive at all. I remember waking up or something.
Mac cast the spell at them.
Ran at them.
Oh, Mac. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mac.
It was like they showed up in the middle of the night, they announced themselves and said, we're on the same side or whatever, and then immediately hostilely ran towards them. And it's like, all right, well, he's going to cast a spell now, because,
Didn't hit Mac.
No, I don't think he hit me, Mac. He's somebody else.
Hit me.
Yeah. But that was a weeks ago. So you went there and had a little flag of peace or whatever, and you talk to one of the leader dudes, or one of the last few mages who were left alive, because you killed a lot of these cult members.
They deserve it.
I mean, they weren't super good people. And you convince them to have like a don't attack us, we want to attack you kind of deal. And then he was like, cool. Well, I'd love to take you to our leader, but there's a monster guarding our teleportation circle, and you're gonna have to defeat it. So you went, you fought a undead chimera, which didn't have a dragon head. It had a manticore tail. So that's when it was throwing spikes at people more. It died surprisingly quick. It also helps that radiant damage was done on the turn it got killed, because then it doesn't have undead fortitude. Oh well. And then you went and talked to Ram, the last leader of the cult. And he progressively got more and more insane as the conversation led on. And you learned that he's been trying to stop the resurrection of this horrible dragon dude. But doing it in a really stupid way.
Mm-hmm.
I am sore throating, so someone's gonna have to take over for me after this.
We talked to the crazy man, and then our gnome artificer was like, hey, I want to join you and build golems. If you want to build golems, you'll fight a dragon in the Underdark, and that seems like a cool idea. The actual plan was, Lucky is gonna just take over the cult and embezzle a shit ton of money.
Probably still make golems, honestly.
Yeah, probably still make the golems.
Yeah. It's just like, he's also gonna be like, I didn't need this much money to make these golems. The rest is in my pockets. So I mean, the cult might get better.
Maybe. And then we had our wrap up where we.
That was Friday.
We can skip to that because
Yep.
it's the same game.
This is technically the same game, right?
All right, feel free to take over for me because my throat is awful.
Yeah. We had our wrap up where we had some chatting. We purified a temple and talked to a god, and then our druid tasked the god.
That happened, yeah. Marty got a blessing.
Yeah, Marty got
Or,
some kind of weird blessing.
Yeah.
Super persuasion, basically. Basically, they have persuasion on everything, and probably a bonus for Kitsune-related checks.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, just permanent advantage on all.
I feel
persuasion.
like, the temples, the front leader. I feel like Marty would then slip into the position of being a shadow leader of the town or something at that point in time, because not on purpose, just because of the bureaucracy is just like, you people don't do things efficient enough.
You wade through the red tape.
Yeah, it's like I just get rid of the red tape and just fix it up and stuff like that and all that stuff.
I don't know. Oh, Roval went off on some kind of epic quest and was probably dead in a dungeon somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. They were dead somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But probably after finding a bunch of artifacts.
Yeah.
Kind of legendary power.
Yeah.
Someone's
Some of them are probably cursed.
Someone's gonna find a bunch of things on their skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They also probably learned deep speech, so they got to directly communicate with the Dark God, who gave them warlock levels, and probably instead of using charisma, because their charisma was a dump stat, they're using wisdom because they're using the power of brain fuckery, I guess, for their warlock powers.
Yeah.
So they're like a warlock druid of the stars and apocalypse.
Yeah, and Garen just took over a shrine.
Yep.
And went on some world travels.
And Mac was Prin's problem now.
Yeah, Mac is someone else's problem.
Yeah, I don't know where Mac went.
Mac died at the dog.
Look, it's like, unfortunately, sometimes at the end of a game and you don't have the person, you can't really figure out what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like Jess's character for records. I'm like, she did something.
She vanished. When the world needed her most, she vanished.
Exactly. let's see here. I didn't have a game on Sunday. Did I have Pathfinder on Monday? I did. I do remember that I did have that. Before my brain stopped working as well. We've basically for the past couple of weeks been taking over a mine. The things we did was there was a rock guarding it. We lured it away and murdered it. So it was a tough battle. They had some kind of dinosaur-like creature trapped. We let it loose to go rampage. We negotiated with the kobold kind of overseer because we had saved a bunch of other kobolds that were related to it. And then we murdered the other people that were up top in this area. And then this last week, the people that were down in the mine decided to come up and try to fight us. And, it's the entire thing where you're climbing this long, winding area up to the surface, and then people have, ranged attacks. It didn't go well for them. So now...
They deserve it.
I mean, they were murderous frog and monkey people that were working for a dark cult. And we can't destroy the dark cult's evil totem, which is at the bottom of the mining pit, until we get rid of them anyway. They wouldn't let us. They're mean that way. So now we have to go down there and or figure out how to get rid of their evil totem without it nuking us, because they're dragon-headed and all have horrible death abilities and stuff like that. Usual.
The usual stuff.
Usual stuff. Didn't play on Tuesday because was not feeling well. I did Legacies on Wednesday, in which
That was a thing that happened.
I was okay at that point in time. Not great, but okay. It was interesting. They let's see here. Leslie went on amazing party adventures in a techno club and found a changeling woman to help them out. Emil stalked a hunter and actually didn't get killed for it, at least for now.
That's probably good for them.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So now all they have to do is to head to Georgia to meet a German detective who's really a demon.
That's fine.
Oh, the German detective.
Yeah.
Normal stuff.
Normal World of Darkness stuff.
Yeah. Nothing weird about it.
Yeah, nothing weird about it. I think they technically still have one more meeting with the hunter lady before she's actually joining them, so that'll be next week, those two things, and depending on how fast those goes, depends on if I'll have one or two more sessions, because, I have a certain stuff for resolving everything, and I don't know if I'd have time. Thursday, I'll turn it over.
Oh, that's Momo again.
Oh, it's me. I ran a game on Thursday where y'all did some traveling to escort some people to a shrine in a spooky forest. We'll get to the spooky forest later, because you guys went to a small town with a brewery and then decided, I don't want to do this quest, and then continued on your main quest.
We were on a quest already.
Some caravans have been going missing. And the party was like, we'll deal with that later. And then they continued up and then found a caravan that was being attacked by mysterious small lizard people that turned out to be kobolds because someone rolled high enough to know what they were. And then someone decapitated the kobold and took its head. Also took a dude's face.
No, I took his scales. Specifically, he had weird scales all over his body, and I cut a bunch of them off.
Yeah, you took part of his face. Thank you very much.
You didn't take his whole face off.
I took his scales off.
And then your wonderful companion, Badger Wolverine, whatever the fuck his last name is, regaled you with the story of 15 years ago of how an army of 100 gnomes beat back a kobold threats. But that's not really what happened.
No, it's
someone
not.
else knew the story.
That is not at all what happened.
It was the story I totally thought about.
It was 30 freaking kitsune and a handful of other people.
Yep.
Well, I don't think I got like the details wrong. I think I just like told it in a
You
really.
embellished.
I embellished it in really terrible ways. Like,
Not so embellished.
yeah, the genius inventor Prin, who developed plain air technology.
That part is actually true. But
Yeah, that part
probably
happened.
The size and power that was
Yeah.
revealed in the story.
Rain down bombs upon the army of like thousands of kobolds, causing explosions, so that the meager army of like other people could just come in and clean them up.
Definitely. Then you went into a spooky forest and got followed by some weird ghosts. But the ghosts aren't real.
They're wraiths.
Ghosts?
Wraiths are real, but ghosts aren't. I like that my explanation is like ghosts are as an undead or not a real thing. They're all either wraiths or shadows, which are horrible cursed creatures that slay another mortal creature in order to create more of them. The idea that you just die randomly and come back as a ghost, that's not true. You have to be slain by this undead in a vicious cycle of creation.
And then you guys made it to the shrine and met a character that was familiar to two of you. You found Biren, but 15 years later. And she works as she owns the shrine now.
That is her shrine.
Yeah, it's her shrine. And you got money for delivering some people there.
Yeah. And,
Wait, are we the slave traders now? We delivered...
No, because we didn't sell them.
Oh, that's true.
The air quotes privateer took the druid's money because the druid doesn't have a concept of money.
Yeah.
That's not going to cause problem later.
No, that'll be fine, I'm sure.
I mean, Badger's crazy, but also knows what's going on, and just like, whatever for now.
Deal with it later.
Deal with it later. That's exactly what I think my character was thinking. Is like, I'll deal with that later.
Yep. Yeah, you guys have the fancy shrine now. It's been a spooky ass forest.
It was a lot of traveling and then combat.
Yeah.
Most of the session.
Yep.
Sometimes you need travel.
I didn't do anything on Thursday because I wasn't feeling great on that day, and I don't know if anything happened on Friday.
Friday?
Your game, yeah.
My Friday game was canceled because 2 players were unavailable.
Which is why I was like, hey, we can do it Friday because Momo was free on Friday, and the normal Friday game got canceled.
As much as I would love to run that game, can't run it with one person.
I was the only one there, probably.
Not possible. Can't run that with one person.
I mean, I'm pretty awesome.
I'll just give you control of all the characters.
Oh God.
Here's every character.
No, that's too many characters. I've done 2 characters as a player, and that can be kind of difficult, but...
I played 2 spellcasters at the same time in Pathfinder. It was not fun.
No.
I had...
Then you're a DM.
Basically a fighter.
Now I'm a DM, so I play all the spellcasters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you get to choose what to use.
Yeah. I don't have to think what a character would do. They're my characters.
Yeah.
This evil, bandit mage, she wants
He's
to
just gonna cast a spell to hurt
she wants
you.
to take you alive and sell you to someone. So she's gonna try to charm you and put you in a cage. Easy enough.
Yeah, you don't have to think about deeper plot related or RP things. It was just like they're evil. They want to kill you. They cast fireball.
Yeah.
As opposed to, ooh, my allies are there. Do I want to cast fireball? If I cast it here, who will it? No. Villains don't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Nope.
They're villains.
They're like, well, my minions might explode. Oh well.
That's
I
the
can
price
I can get
willing to
get more minions.
take. We have more minions back home.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Good
it was a forged cleric dwarf and basically a barbarian, which I only played in that game for a little bit because I was I think I had another game coming up in that time slot, and at the time I was in like 5 or 6 games a week, and it was too many games. So
I
was
am limiting myself on the amount of games I'm going to be in.
yeah.
I am thinking about putting more games on my schedule because I feel like there's not enough.
You've had a lot end though.
Yeah,
Yes.
you ended a bunch of them.
I ended a
Yeah,
bunch on my
okay.
end, so like I've got to start up a
'Cause-
bunch.
Because Legacies of Evil ended.
And Records of Evil
the-
ended, yeah. Legacies of
Yeah,
Cain
Records of
has
Evil.
like 2
Legacies
sessions.
of Cain is ending.
Carrying Crown
my
ended.
game-
Yeah.
My
Your
game
game.
that you were in is ended. That's 3 games, 2 of which you were running, 1 of which you're a player, that are not happening anymore.
And Children of Wrath's been on break then too. So,
Yeah, but it's coming back soon.
yeah, it was going to come back this week if I was feeling up for it, but I think it's next week.
I think we still need to talk about something.
There's some stuff that I have to talk about, but like, you know, the last week has been a little.
Yeah, you've been sick.
Even now, I'm like feeling not great, and it's the unfortunate thing that the doctor's like, well, it's nothing serious, and it's not an ear infection, and unfortunately, dizziness is a common thing that can occur, and I'm like, well, fuck.
Yep.
So like, here's
But thankfully,
here's
there's no game following
Yeah,
this.
so
Yeah.
here's a couple of explanations of things that could be going on, and I'm like, okay, great. If things don't go away in like a week or 2, then worry about it, you know, and check it again. That old chestnut.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything with sicknesses and stuff.
Yeah, if it's nothing
If it's-
serious, it's let it go
It'll
away.
go away in a week or 2, and if it doesn't, then come back here, please.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it might be actually serious. Anyway, I think that's about it for today. Then I think we hit our stride topics. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. Some interesting topics. It was fun talking about and stuff. I will hopefully be back next week with some more folks, or possibly some of these folks. Thank you for joining me, Lightning. Thank you for joining me, Momo. I think I'm going to run away and rest up for a bit and, you know...
No, it's perfectly fine.
It's
Yeah.
probably fine. I mean, like, I think, like, the doctor was using, like, an empty thing to go through, like, a list of, like, possible things. Yeah. Because I saw he was on the computer. So, like, you know,
That's a doctor's movie. That totally different.
uh-huh.
Yeah. It's not Google.
It's not we'll have MDs in
It's Doodle.
Yeah.
you know.
Dougal.
I was
Dr.
fortunate.
Dougal.
But anyway, I'm going to run, yeah. Thanks for joining us, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I will be back at some point. I don't know my schedule, you know. I'm going to see when I feel
You don't
up
have
for
a
it.
schedule right now.
I don't have a schedule right now except for, like, Legacies of Cain on Wednesday. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And on Funny One's channel, Star Trek on Tuesday, theoretically. Probably. That sounds about right. But anyway, yep. Thanks for everybody hanging out in the chat and all that stuff. There was a Bing. Was that a follow?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I didn't see anything.
I've got to check.
I could technically turn on mod view, and I could find out, but that sounds like effort.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Check my recent alerts in Streamlabs. Yeah, there's a following. Thank you for those who followed, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, all right, bye everybody.
Bye.